All I wanna be is 멋짐 내 맘대로 걸어 Kick it 머리 어깨 무릎 다 힙해.
So good afternoon. Today we are going to do another video of our GD portfolio subject for LPE 2301. So firstly, we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Li Yijie, metric number 204099.
My name is Tingkala, metric number 202954.
My name is Myong Amirul Bebomasa. My metric number is 196020.
Hello, I'm Chen Yangrong. My metric number is 195482.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss another theme. So the topic today, the theme that we have been chosen is social life, and the topic is curfew for teenagers. So firstly, I state my stance first. I disagree with the topic, which is what is the disadvantages for teenagers. So I taking the cons of this topic.
While I'm with Mio are standing at the agree side. Agree about that is have advantage about curfew for teenage.
How about you?
Same for me, I disagree.
Yeah, also same with disagree. Okay, so now we are going to start our discussion about this topic. So firstly, start from me first. So firstly, I disagree to this topic because I think curfew doesn't bring any advantages to teenagers because firstly, when I found from the net, it says that overnight hours of curfew are not probably going to happen when most teenage crime takes place. Because in this statement, overnight curfew, the time when the teenagers need to commit crime, they might not be happen during night. Maybe in like the morning or the afternoon or maybe in the earlier morning of the day, but still it doesn't take out doesn't sorry I rephrase that. Crime doesn't every time occurs at night, because when curfew is like they have curfews from at night time, from evening to midnight. So at that time, teenagers are probably they cannot leave their home. They must arrive at home on the time, and they cannot go to anywhere else. But some of the places, the time of curfew might be different. So some of the teenagers is very clever. They'll check out the time first, because the curfew doesn't stop them to commit a crime. So they will check whether this place, the curfew is different, the night time of the curfew is different to his place. So he might go to another place to commit a crime. And before his house curfew happens, he will go back, arrive home safely, and no one will think about no one will think that he does that. Maybe it's another person, because that time he's having curfew, he might be at home. So the curfew, it doesn't really take advantage, doesn't give advantages to teenagers. And secondly, curfew, it might happen. Secondly, some of the curfews to teenagers can lead to autocratic parenting, because some of the parents will lose their sight over the importance of getting kids to involve the household activities, because that the parents, they control their children. So they control the children. Maybe I make a schedule to them, like this time to this time they are learning, or this time to this time they need to stay at house to do somehow like doing household activities, doing homework, or somehow like learning some of the skills, like like piano or drawing or something like that. So their parents is controlling their children, be autocratic. They doesn't want their children to involve themselves with the household activities, like to join in the family, like to discuss something or like to do something together. So this controlling to children might mislead children to commit a crime, because if the parents state to them that this thing is bad, you should not do that, and then doesn't explain why. So the children, like, they have the curiosity to do something that they don't want to do. They want to try something that doesn't have a chance to try, or maybe they're very curious about it, so they're determined to do the thing. So this can also lead to committing crimes. So So until now, this is my points about disagreeing with this topic. Curfew doesn't give advantages to teenagers. So, do you agree with me, Wallace?
Well, I disagree with your statement that by stating that sometimes, although some accident is not happen so oftenly, but it also, if you are very unlucky, you are also will happen to you. I'm not saying that I'm cursing you, but I say just if it's so unlucky that happened to you. So it is very important to let the teenage have a curfew for teenage to be at home just in time, just because we want to keep him safely. Since the parents have already born the child out, so we also want to see the child to grow up very peacefully or grow up very safely and protect him until they are reached to the puberty or until they reach to adult. So when they are at teenagers, although they are very curious about the outside world and they like to find something, explore something that is very special at the outside of the world. So it is very important to give the parents for the curfew to teenage while they're in teenage life stage. So do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you. Because teenagers nowadays love to try new things, especially when we say no. This is why curfew is good step can be taken by parents to avoid their teenager from involving bad activity or as a good step in discipline their kids. How about you, Chance?
In my opinion, I think the curfew is have some bad lead to the teenagers because of the so in my country, maybe somebody you maybe know our government have the limited policy since the 1990 to 2017 that one parent can only have one child. So in my country, this policy makes parents think they are baby because they just have one baby. So the baby is so they makes the curfew for them to or make them study at home, cannot go outside, do not go with your friend, and they don't know how to face to the society. So they know nothing. So it's like the huge baby. So when they finish their junior high school or finish their university, they come to the work, they face to the society, they become very like a small children to all of others. So they will be feel they become don't know how to do this, and the boss will fire them. Yes, always be there.
Oh,
Yeah.
seems like I have disagree with your point. Since you are saying that curfew for teenagers is not too good, that will leave the baby to have the perception about the attitude of something like the big baby, like
Yeah.
something that is not very socialized with the social when they are grew up or they are working company or at the social. So instead of that, I want to make a point here with you. Since curfew is good for teenage just because it can let teenage to have their time management. This is because if we have a curfew, we set a time for teenage, you must come back to home by 12 midnight. So if we can let the teenage to have the perception, I must go home 12 midnight before the home, so he can control the time and the journey to the home, plan earlier, so it can be planned ahead before they're planning to go out when the time is very late, like 10 p.m. or maybe they want to go to tuition, so they do not let them have time management to come back earlier, not to stay at the outside too late. So this will also let the teenage to learn how to compare time management with the benefits from Curfew. So how about you?
Yeah, you can see few months about the tragedy bicycle lajak.
Yes, since it's very popular since the Johor.
Yes, facilitated by underage teenagers. Their activity give constraints to other, which is a driver to drive at night. Because any other vehicle or activity at night. So to make sure the parent can take care about a child, about a child. How about you, Reggie?
I know what you mean. So it means that curfew can like protect the child from not involving in some of the dangerous activities at night, right? But still, this curfew doesn't prepare teens for how the world operates. Because when they are young, parents surely will protect them and guide them to the correct path from their way at life. But still, when they are grown-ups, they will attend to university, they attend in the campus life, they'll meet their friends, or many like some of the lecturers or friends. But still, this doesn't teach them to know the real world, how the real world goes, how the real world operates. Curfew law is just time from time, but doesn't mean that still need the curfew from young to old. So like parents guided their children from their young, but they make curfew for their children to like come back home at time, like what Roland said just now. They teach them the curfew is like come back home at time, don't be too late at night. But still, when you are grown ups, your work and maybe you need to like stay up late to do your work until midnight. But still, if you still maintain the habit of having curfew, like you need to sleep at 10 o'clock, or maybe you need to get up at 6 o'clock like that, like there might be some of the bad things happen, like you can't finish your work, or you haven't, and you're like student, you still having your curfew, you can't finish reading, finish revising, although you know exam is coming out. This doesn't, so in short, curfew law is just can maintain when the children is young, but still for teenagers, I think it's not that bad. It doesn't benefit them well. They still need to know how the real world goes. It's like not as pure as what their parents has fixed the world to them.
So, in my opinion, I think the curfew is not time management. I think it's so the parents try use the curfew to control the teenagers have the time management, but when they grow up, the parents cannot control them anymore. They will become very on that time the time management is ability, not the parents control to make it. So many of my friends, especially my friends study in UPM. Some of the teenagers, maybe on the junior high school, they have the curfew, so they cannot go with their friends to do something like this. But when they come to university, they become very far away from their parents. No one can control them anymore. They spend all of their they spend all of their time to play the games and do not attend to the class and this. So they become. I have 5 friends. The GPA become low than 2.0. They have to go back. Yeah. So that's the curfew maybe not do enough good points to the teenagers because the time management is ability, so that need the parents to lead them, not to control them. So the curfew is a kind of control, doesn't good.
So, okay, my opinion, because curfew also can avoid teenagers from dealing with drugs. because as they're not going anywhere at night, we can engage them and their activities. About you?
Yes, I agree with you. Since I'm standing at the agree about there's curfew for teenage, and I want to sum up a little bit from others people, others members teams, just like that, just like EJ say that since we can have curfew at the young, but we cannot have the maintain the curfew time system until the old time. But since the old people have already have a mutual, have a good thinking and thinking the consequence about how late they are gonna, how much dangerous they are having the activities at night, so they will already control themselves and end all the activities and stay at home before 12 midnight. But since the young child or teenage, since they haven't have the mutual thinking skills or something that can think
Yes.
very effectively, so they haven't think yet the consequence if they are not curfew as still being at the outside or going to the pub or the bar or disco something, and even at the midnight, so it could happen everything. And just like the news says, the bicycle or drivers, the bicycle is very popular case. Yes, bicycle. Since there is a case, the woman that is after working and want to drive to home at the midnight, and the driver is a woman, and she is being surrounded at the highway and surrounded by all the teenage that is riding illegal bicycle that is not standardized, so it's very dangerous for the kids. And since the ladies is driving the car safely and didn't harm the child, the bicycle teenage, but is actually the bicycle teenage is harm to the female ladies driver. Since that, why? Since why your question, why? The teenage is riding bicycle at the midnight, but why don't at the day? They're riding bicycle at the midnight and give harm and give dangerous and give everything trouble to the ladies and give everything trouble to social, until after that they're already losing their life and already die and make it to the court. Until now, since after that the court is giving that the lady is not guilty, so this is very happy news. So the moral of the story is, before my ending, I have to tell you the moral of my story for telling this is, please make a curfew for teenage to stay at home and not to give harm to others. So this is already a live example for really other to make this as your conclusion.
Okay, so all right, thank you for this. Okay, so now it's time for us to come to a conclusion. So, just now Wallace has said his conclusion, which is he still agree to have curfew for teenagers, right?
Yes.
All right. So how about Mio? Are you still agree?
Yes, I really agree with this topic.
All right. Mio is still agreeing. How about you, Chen?
I think the curfews still have some disagree, but the disadvantages. But in fact, I think it's good for teenagers. Yeah.
All right. So now we all come to a mutual understanding, which is curfew really bring benefits to teenagers. That as what Chen said, even though curfew even though curfew is still having some disadvantages to teenagers, but still it is very good for teenagers, like to maintain their own discipline and to like Wallace said just now, to protect them to not involving in any harming activities at night, such as the news just now at the Johor one. Yes. So this is our conclusion. We all agree to this topic, which is curfew brings benefits to teenagers. Okay. So that's the end of our discussion. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.